Expositional dialogue in George R. R. Martin's A Clash of Kings by Michael Tester. Expositional dialogue. Stylistic technique of expositional dialogue building backstory and characters' personal philosophies. Expositional dialogue. Stylistic evaluation of author George R. R. Martin and how he utilizes expositional dialogue to establish backstory and personal philosophy in his novel A Clash of Kings. Background. A Clash of Kings, first published in 1998, winner of the 1999 Locus Award, and nominated for the Nebula Award. The story is based on a dynastic struggle between great families of Westeros for the Iron Throne. Expositional dialogue is utilized by George R. R. Martin to show character backstory and personal philosophy. Expository dialogue definition. In fiction writing, particularly in plays or screenplays without a narrator, expository dialogue refers to information conveyed by one character to another, with the additional and sometimes main purpose of informing the reader or audience of some information. As expository dialogue usually exists to give the audience an explanation of a character's previous actions. Expositional dialogue technique. All of Martin's characters speak in blocks of text, groups of sentences, in a monologue-type fashion. George R. R. Martin's character dialogues involve backstory and discussing events in the past which have shaped their perspectives. The author's monologues include detailing how their opinions have influenced their interactions with other characters. All of George R. R. Martin's monologues contain how their backstory and past events have influenced their life philosophies. Out of all the author's speeches, the author has written consistently of illustrating how each character has in their youth been through trials which have sculpted the way in which they respond to the world around them. George R. R. Martin has utilized powerful metaphor in his character speeches, bringing them vividly to life. Expositional dialogue and its effects on character interactions. I've never liked you, Cersei, but you're my own sister, so I never did you harm. You've ended that. I'll hurt you for this. I don't know how yet, but give me time. A day will come when you think yourself safe and happy, and suddenly your joy will turn to ashes in your mouth. And you will know that it's paid. Page 705. Expositional dialogue and character interactions. George R. R. Martin illustrates the character's backstory, the effects this backstory and shared past history has on Tyrion's and Cersei's current relationship, and implying why it's strained through expositional dialogue. The author shows the slow souring of the sibling relationship and how it begins to become poisoned. With the use of expositional dialogue, this passage also shows how Tyrion's life philosophy is bitter and how he reacts to the world around him. The writer displays how the brother has turned against his sister with an expositional dialogue which is eloquent and succinct. One day when you think you are safe and happy, your joy will turn to ashes in your mouth, which is punchy and declarative and very effective in how his perspective of his sister is skewed. The familiar dynamic between the two is shown powerfully and memorably with his profound last few words, "Then you will know the debt is paid," which achieve profound meaning with a couple of terse words. The lines of the text, "Your joy will turn to ashes in your mouth," is a strong example of a profound metaphor which creates a vivid mental image for the reader. Expositional dialogue as a tool in shaping characters' philosophy through events from their youth and backstory. I killed my first man at 12. I've lost count how many I have killed since then. High lords with old names, fat rich men dressed in velvet, knights puffed up like bladders of their honours. Yes, and women and children too. They're all meat, and I'm the butcher. Let them have their lands, and their gods, and their gold. Let them have their sirs. Page 683. Backstory and youth interpreted. This excerpt from the novel displays how the Hound's event of killing his first man in his youth at the age of 12 changed his perspective and set him down on a dark trajectory for the rest of his life. Later in the quote he describes killing many people, which begins to set him in his sadistic and violent ways, and galvanizing and crystallizing his nihilistic philosophy. Sandor Clegane is shown as having a savage nature, apathetic to murdering and bloodshed, a character with an indifference to the worth of human life. Therefore he is also a man who has no mercy for the other characters in the narrative. This expositional dialogue displays how he is shaped by his youth, backstory, brutally realistic in worldview, as well as his past also having influenced him to be a heathen and an atheist, as evidenced in the quote, "Let them have their gods." George R. R. Martin created a potent character with the Hound, as he made a character who is impardoned anarchist and who only cares about slaughtering, a man who is ascetic, a man who cannot be bought or reasoned with. Let them have their lands and their gold, let them have their sirs. This quote describes a man who savagely responds and tracks the world which surrounds him. Lines of text: and women, children too, they are all meat, and I am the butcher. These lines of monologue are very incisive and vibrant, conjuring potent imagery for the reader. Expositional dialogue: correlation to characters' response to the world. So many vows they make you swear and swear. Defend the king, obey the king, keep his secrets, do his bidding, your life for his. But obey your father, love your sister, protect the innocent, defend the weak, respect the gods, obey the laws. It's too much, no matter what you do, forsaking one vow or the other. Page 720. Characters' response to the world. The language used here is very terse and concise. It gets to the heart of the matter, with no flowery description and clutter of detail. It merely delivers important information to the reader. There are no adjectives used here, just information displaying Jaime Lannister's thought process and the way in which he interacts with the world. The sentences utilise are short, punchy and declarative, which has a strong impact, draws your attention and sticks in your mind. Repetition is utilised for effect. Words like swear, obey and king are repeated twice to get to the point and theme of the speech across his loyalty and its importance. Now this is difficult for Jaime to achieve, as he finds it too contradictory and onerous, which is in turn blights the way he interacts with the world around him, world built on honour and fealty. The first sentence about the vow is moderately long. There are other sentences are short and declarative, but the last sentences about vows is long. This technique of varying sentence lengths is memorable, intriguing, and attention-grabbing for the reader. The use of dots and a singular comma is to give a break for effect and impact. Metaphor and building character and backstory. When Jaime was given his first sword, there was none for me. What do I get? I remember asking. We were so much alike. I could never understand why they treated us so differently. Jaime learned to fight with sword and lance and mace, while I was taught to sing and smile and please. He was there to cast Stilly Rock, while I was to be sold to some stranger like a horse, to be ridden whenever my new owner liked, beaten whenever he liked, and cast aside in time for a younger filly. Jaime's lot was to be glory and power, while mine was birth and moon blood. Page 767. Metaphor and a clash of kings. There are long sentences, which are very informative and insightful into Cersei's psychology, personal history and backstory. They are also very fascinating, drawing the reader into the narrative. The numerous commas are in usage to give the reader pauses. More importantly, pauses for effect, to let the information sink in and resonate. The rhetorical question and question mark is being used as a device to maintain the reader's interest in the story and the character. Through strong use of language, the past relationship between Cersei and Jaime is described, adding dimension to the narrative and effect. While I was to be sold to some stranger like a horse, to be ridden whenever my new owner liked, beaten whenever he liked, and cast aside in time for a younger filly. This powerful metaphor exemplifies the way in which Cersei felt and saw herself being treated, therefore showing her bitterness, and being seen objectified as a prize and commodified as a product to be bargained for, held over and transacted by powerful men. Cersei Lannister's speech is given in a block of text, group of sentences, and a speech-like monologue mode. This really consolidates the ideas that are being presented and makes a powerful effect. George R. Martin's Elements of Expositional Dialogue. Repeated use of commas to give a pause for effect and reflection. Frequent use of italicized words to give emphasis on critical and important words to stick in readers' minds. Use of question marks to give reader a device for thought and introspection on the passage's subject matter. Sentences grouped in a block of text in a monologue speech pattern to reinforce and consolidate the main point of the expositional dialogue. The content of each expositional dialogue is language infused with aggression, reality, and truth for the impact of the readers. How to incorporate expositional dialogue characteristics in your own work. Imbue your writing with powerful metaphors which convey strong and lasting meaning to the reader. Write in groups of pans, a monologue speech pan, an extended block of text. Place a confronting and difficult situation in your character's youth for them to overcome and persevere to, and have this sculpt their interactions with the world around them. Write character interactions in scenarios where your main character clashes badly and has ongoing conflict with the other characters, therefore creating lasting repercussions. Have your characters discuss backstory and how this has shaped their life philosophies. Write about your characters, making sure to discuss their backstory and how this has shaped their perspectives. Creative work draft piece extract. When I was a boy, there were such harsh and bitter winters, yet I survived them. I owe it to my father's advice. He said, "Son, when winter comes, the rest of the wolf pack will abandon you. They're only good for the summer and spring seasons of sunshine, when the streams are teeming with fish, the sky rich with fowl, the woods bountiful with game, boar and deer. When winter falls, they shall turn tail and flee, and the land turns barren, hard and cold, and will not yield fruit or feed, just like how their hearts turn barren, hard and cold, and will not yield." He used to tell me it takes a will of iron to survive these winters. Iron can melt away, but never freeze, shatter. Winter comes, the rivers will freeze. The once fruitful trees will turn to petrified wood, land barren, trees bare. The blue sky fogged over. The game animals flounder and flee. My father told me, when winter falls, you must fend for yourself, wolf cub. You must fight and forage ferociously for your fill. Let no beast stand in your way, wolf or otherwise. Fight claw and fang for every scrap and skerrick of food. Winter falls, there is no wolf pack. You stand alone as a lone wolf with only your wits and your wild nature sustain you. My father, that old wolf, is long gone now. Yet those words of wisdom from that world-weary man have held me in good stead my whole life. They sustained me and helped me to survive countless winters. His worries of winter are over, yet his words live on in me. Creative piece extract analyzed. In this piece, I placed the words in a block of text and a large group of sentences to consolidate and clarify the points I was making. I utilized the extended wolf metaphor to construct a powerful theme of expositional dialogue and the importance of character strength, as well as the need of savagery to survive. The ideology of what I am expressing is summed up in the words, "It takes a will of iron to survive these winters." I want to get across the ideal that a man must become a beast to survive and have iron resolve to survive harsh training conditions. The lines, "When winter falls, the rest of the wolf pack will abandon you," summarizes the notion I want to convey through the expositional dialogue to the reader of the importance of self-reliance and the protagonist's interaction with other characters. In this piece, I was attempting to express that the lead character's perspective and personal philosophy was sculpted by the harshness of the environment. In this extract of expositional dialogue, I want to express that incidences in the protagonist's past and youth has shaped the way they think and interact with the world around them. This is evidenced in the lines, "When winter comes, you must fend for yourself, fight and forage. When winter comes, there is no wolf pack, you stand alone. Let no beast stand in your way." These lines indicate the meaning of this expositional dialogue is that the coming of winter, the cast nature it brings out in others, has coloured and influenced how the protagonist interacts with the world. Reference list: Martin R. George, 1998, A Clash of Kings. London, Harper Voyager.